It's time. You're listening to the National Edgar Allan Poe Theater on the Air. Sponsored in part by Baltimore's own Raven Beer, this ongoing series brings to your ears the best-known works from America's revered grandfather of horror and suspense. In today's episode, the National Edgar Allan Poe Theater on the Air takes on one of Poe's most famous stories of madness and mayhem, The Tell-Tale Heart. As the daylight dims and shadows cast long on the streets ahead, we find ourselves converging on a somber, isolated place, hosting a checkered collection of guests. Who is it? Oh, how very good to see you. Your visit has been most enthusiastically anticipated at the agreed-upon time, too. I admire punctuality. It's a noble and morally clean quality. Welcome to the asylum. Please, enter freely. I am so glad you found us. The streets are dark on a winter's evening, even if it is the best time to visit us. Quiet, tranquil. Few distractions on the way here. Come with me down this corridor. I must say, I am delighted to have the opportunity to show you my system, my revolutionary system, to change the way we treat and, most importantly, cure the mentally crippled. For I believe in hope, and there's no case beyond hope, no lunatic beyond cure. I have many inmates here, inmates abandoned by all other institutions, and I have taken them in. I believe I can cure them one and all. Yeah, I see you're perplexed. You want to know my secret? All in good time. But what I will reveal immediately is that I regard them all as my children. They've lost their way, like little lost souls. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I think it's best for you to meet some of my children. Here, cell number 1. Now, this patient is most polite. Quite enchanting. Is one of my favorite children. I could spend hours in her company, and in fact, I have done. She is blessed with the highest levels of sensitivity. For her own part, she regards it as a curse. A curse. A lady so attuned to her surroundings has so much potential. I'm confident that my system will cure her, cleanse her. Yes. Oh, excuse my laughter. You see, this patient is very clean and proper, but afflicted, diseased almost with nerves, and that is the impetus to her tragic tale. But you will find her most eloquent. I will let her tell you her tale herself in her own delightful voice. Let's enter. Good evening, my dear.
Oh, Dr. Mallard, I am quite unprepared. I have not had time to clean my room.
Please, don't worry yourself. If only some of the other guests were as sanitary as you, my dear. The other rooms could do with a clean.
Oh, I would be delighted to clean their rooms. I will find a spirit of springtime healthiness to infuse the whole house. And I would so like to meet other people, your other guests.
There's the rub.
Yes, I forgot. Forgive me, I am not to meet the other guests.
Well, I'm afraid it would not be a good idea.
Dr. Mallard has made it clear that my sensitivity is the root of my nervousness, and my nervousness is the cause of... Am I permitted to speak freely?
Have no concern, my dear. You can trust our friend here. Tell your tale.
You must forgive me my nervousness. I assure you that's all that afflicts me, nerves. I promise you I am not mad. You have no reason to think that I am mad. It's just a disease that has made me nervous. It has heightened my senses. Above all, my sense of hearing is most acute. And yet you still look at me askance. Wait until I tell you the whole story. I shall tell you calmly and healthily. You see, I loved the old man.
Hello.
Good morning, sir. I have come about the vacant situation.
Ah, perfect. Please, come in.
A cleaner and companion to a mature, distinguished gentleman.
I may have put modesty aside in my description. I am indeed mature, and I would like to consider myself distinguished. I do hope you are not disappointed.
Not at all, sir. I couldn't be happier at the prospect.
Very good. I am overjoyed. I see you stare at me.
No, let me apologize. Just my nervous disposition. I did not mean...
Is it my eye? I have no vision in one of my eyes. An accident long ago, a childhood misdemeanor. It is nothing. A little unsightly, that is all. Unsightly. Hard to look through and to look at.
bless you, sir.
Do you wish to leave?
Not at all, sir.
Very good. Welcome to my home. A modest place, a lonely place, and I struggle to attend to the household tasks.
You need not vex yourself any more, sir. I will be a rock to you.
And there are dangers.
Dangers, sir?
Robbers. My house may be humble, but I have certain possessions, mainly of sentimental value, that might nonetheless appeal to robbers. And I fear violence. I am a man of gentle sentiment, and the stories one hears of people accosted in their own homes, assaulted in their own beds, unable to defend themselves, it fills me with horror.
Then I shall protect you, sir.
An angel descended from the heavens.
Oh, sir, you shall make me blush.
If you hear, no one will harm me. And you'll live here, and I will provide all you might need. And in return, you will help to keep me safe and the place in order. Fortunes be blessed. And you have started already. This will work out very well for the both of us.
Indeed it will. Cleanliness is next to godliness. The place was filthy, suitable only for farmyard swine. No, don't get me wrong. I loved the old man. He wasn't a pig, just the place. A grimy, dirty mess. It took days to get the place spotless, but I did it. The house sparkled. But still, something bothered me. Good evening, sir. Your dinner is served.
This is extraordinary. You have cooked me a meal fit for a king, and my home is so clean. Everything glistens and shines like treasure. I barely recognize it. I am fed and housed like a monarch. My humble home is transformed into a palace, all thanks to your incredible labors.
It was a pleasure, sir. Besides, I had no choice. I am in your employ, and it has to be done. May I give you some wine, sir?
Yes, please. Oh, it is wonderful. Please, why don't you sit down with me? Share my repast. It looks delicious. Your labors are done. We can engage in conversation.
I would, but alas, I feel my work is not yet done.
Goodness, your work must be complete. Please, sit down, and we can eat together, or at least have some wine.
There is an odor, a stench, a rank and rotten smell.
Really? I cannot smell a thing. Just a sweet fragrance of cleanliness.
Not to my nose. So I shall keep cleaning.
And cleaning, and cleaning, and cleaning. An angel of the house.
Your dinner is getting cold. You might use the knife and fork correctly? More lightly upon the plate.
I'm sorry.
Don't cut onto the plate so hard. You will scratch off the glaze, and they are such pretty plates.
Yes, they are. They have been in my family for an age. My mother was so very fond of them.
Gently does it.
Delicious. Oh, exquisite food.
You have a napkin? There is a napkin beside your plate?
Yes.
Use it. It is there for you to wipe your mouth.
Very well. Is that better?
Yes.
Delicious.
It might be best to close your mouth when you eat.
Forgive me.
And I realized that the problem was not the house, but the old man. I loved him. You must believe me when I say it. I did love the old man, but the stench that infused the house and could never be cleaned was him. The food that slobbered down his chin in clumps, half-chewed and saliva-strewn, he couldn't imbibe without the drink trailing down his chin from the corner of his twisted mouth. And the noises he made, breathing in hideous rattling loops like the raking, railing breaths of a dying man. A dying man. A dying man. Then I realized that if the house was to be clean, properly clean, I would need to do something with the man. He was the contagion, the stench, the frightful mess. I looked at him and assessed his faults. The white hair, thin like wisps over his peeling scalp. The wrinkled, flaking skin. The bumps, pustules, and moles. But I tell you truly, I loved the old man. All of his faults I could live with, but not The eye. The eye. It was like the eye of a vulture, dull blue with a hideous veil over it that disgusted me. It chilled the very marrow in my bones as it swiveled and seemed to watch me, although I knew it was useless. It could see nothing. When it looked at me, my blood ran cold. The evil eye, I can see it yet. And so I set about my plan to clean the house once and for all. To make it truly pristine, I would need to dispose of the old man. And you should have seen me. You should have seen how wisely I proceeded, with what caution, with what care I set about my work. I was never kinder to the old man than when I had decided on my course of action. Although every screech of knife on plate, every smashing door, every creaking step, the old man set my nerves on edge and made me want to sob my heart out. My nerves shuddered and shattered inside me, but I merely went about my tasks without a word. I cooked and cleaned and even wiped the old man's face with the neglected napkin myself. And I just smiled and smiled, but bit my lip until it bled. I could taste blood as I catered and cleaned for the old man. And every night, when I fancied him to be asleep, I would take a cleaver from the kitchen and I would creep up the staircase with a lantern to the closed door of his bedchamber. Pressing my ear to the door, I could hear the ticking of a clock. The nauseating, rhythmic rattle of his snoring, and I would grasp the handle and open the door slowly, and I would lean my head into the room and open the lantern so it cast a beam upon his face. And I did this ritual every night until...
Who's there? Who is it? What do you want? Please, please!
Beam of lantern light like a thin thread of spider web falls upon the evil eye. The vulture eye is awake. It sees me.
Please, I implore you!
It is now the time to act.
It's you. It's you! But why in heaven?
Oh, the noise! Peace at last. It's over. What is that sound? Nothing. I am a lady of great sensitivity, that's all. But a lady's work is never done. Time to dispose of this blight upon the house. I dragged the corpse into a metal tub. First of all, the head. Then, the limbs. Beneath the floorboards, you shall go. I cannot believe my eyes. There's nothing to wash out. No stain of any kind, no blood whatever. I have been too wary for that. The tub had caught all, every drop of him. And that can be disposed of down the drain. And I enjoyed my tranquility. I am a lady of heightened sensitivity, so you can imagine how I appreciated no mess, no noise. No mess, no noise. Immaculate floors and furniture, doors closing quietly, silent eating off of unscratched plates. I imagined that the house itself took me to its bosom and said, "Thank you." But this only lasted a few hours when... Hello.
Good afternoon, madam.
A policeman? Whatever has happened?
Nothing to worry about, madam. Are you proprietor of this house?
Yes. No. The owner is abroad. He will return presently, although I am not sure when. A long vacation.
May I come in?
Of course. Please, wipe your feet. Wipe your feet.
Has there been any disturbance, madam?
No. Why do you say that?
Your neighbors have reported hearing screams last night.
Screams? Why would they say such a thing?
Repeated screams, both male and female, after midnight. They feared it was a robbery.
A robbery? Such nonsense. Please, come in and inspect for yourself. See every room.
Thank you, madam.
And I showed him every room, everything clean and proper. The bedchambers beamed with sunlight and were fragrant with fresh air. No mud on the staircase or clumps of dust in the corner of the room. You could inspect beneath the rugs and find no filth. I showed him everything in the kitchen, too. I ensured he looked at his reflection in the knives, spoons, and the cleaver. He admired the unscratched surface of the old man's precious plates. I was proud of my work.
Well, evidently, everything is in perfect order.
The initial suspicions I detected in the policeman had by now evaporated. I enjoyed my role. I was playing to the balcony. I was so confident, I made him sit in a chair above the body of the old man.
Are you sure the gentleman who owns the house did not say when he would return?
No, a long vacation. A long, much-deserved vacation.
And you really have no idea where he went?
No. Places.
To see family?
No, family, alone in the world.
Friends and old acquaintances?
Maybe, friends, places new.
Did he pack many belongings?
No.
Are you all right, madam?
Yes, I love the old man. I miss him. Never a kinder word from him. The way he liked his dinner, cutting upon the plate full of smiles, despite the eye. Not his fault, a childhood injury, and he is old, but the vulture eye must have been blind, but it seemed to stare so, stare at me and stalk me around the room, and I do hope he is enjoying his much-deserved and welcome vacation, old friends and places new. I will embrace him and kiss him when he returns, as I miss him so. Did I not tell you that I love the old man? But why do you stare upon me so? Why do you smile? I know you can hear it. I know you can hear it! Hear what you say? I am no fool. Do not humor me. Do not pretend. I'm a better thespian than you, dear policeman. I know you can hear it. You villain. Very well, I admit the deed. Tear up the planks. Here, it is the beating of the old man's hideous heart.
And there we have the dear lady's tale.
I am no fool.
Very sad, very tragic.
I hear it
but not
still.
Beyond hope.
I am a lady of heightened
My system will
sensitivity.
cure her, and she will return to sharing company such as my confidence.
Don't humor me.
Imagine her.
Don't pretend.
This sensitive lady.
I know you can hear it.
A veritable angel of the house.
The beating of the old man's heart.
Yes, I think that's our cue to depart. Early days in her cure. If only we could transfer her sensitivity and cleanliness to her moral compass. Lots of cleaning and proper conduct, but seeing less faults in others. And no murder, obviously. We cannot risk her meeting the other residents. It would be pandemonium. She sees the shortcomings in others when she should find the goodness in all things. We will find a moral tolerance in her by keeping her alone in darkness and silence. And she must realize there is no heartbeat. I mean, there isn't, is there? You didn't hear a heartbeat, did you? Of course you didn't. Did you? No, I merely jest. That would be deranged. And then you'd be in here alongside her, yeah? Good idea. Let's move on. You want to meet another one of my children? It's only a few steps to my next challenging case.
And next time, wipe your boots before you come in here.
You've been listening to the National Edgar Allan Poe Theater on the Air and our production of The Telltale Heart, adapted for radio by Richard J. Hand. The Telltale Heart was directed by J.D. Brock and produced by Greg Martin, with the voices of Alex Avestovich, Brian McDonald, and Jennifer Restak. The National Edgar Allan Poe Theater on the Air is sponsored in part by Baltimore's own Raven Beer, purveyors of Poe-inspired craft beer. More information can be found on the web at www.ravenbeer.com. More information on the National Edgar Allan Poe Theater on the Air can be found at www.poetheater.org. Until next time, this is Alex Zavestovich reminding you that all that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. It's time. You're listening to the National Edgar Allan Poe Theater on the Air. Sponsored in part by Baltimore's own Raven Beer, this ongoing series brings to your ears the best-known works from America's revered grandfather of horror and suspense. From room to room in the asylum of the mysterious Dr. Mallard, Poe's wretched souls describe their awful tales while they await the doctor's revolutionary system to treat and cure the mentally crippled. In today's episode, the National Edgar Allan Poe Theatre on the Air takes on Poe's famous poem about love, lost hope, obsession, and tragedy, The Raven. In our last episode, A Descent into the Maelstrom, we found ourselves at the mercy of a shipwreck at sea and learned the physical toll on those who survived the clutches of a near-mythical storm.
The match. I can see nothing. They're both gone. And he was lashed to it. He still is. We're going under.
Now, Professor Mallard leads us down the hall for a conversation with another of his children. Our next case is, even by my standards, quite unusual indeed. In his grief and sorrow over the loss of his one true love, the patient has subverted the solace that many find in the peaceful contemplation of the divine. In its place, he has created a nightmarish hellscape of demons and their familiars, who torment him with the very silence that his fevered and obsessed brain craves. Before being brought to my institution, he had been found in his home in a fugue state, suggesting a complete psychotic break with reality. Here, he berates the attendants for what he calls their lack of faith and routinely invokes the name of an adversary. What adversary, you may ask? Some rogue who wronged him, a dread messenger, an evil spectre? Well, yes. And no. No, indeed, he fancies himself at the mercy of an avian adversary, a bird-like fiend he claims even now to be plaguing him with sinister single-mindedness and a single word. Is he mad, or is some unseen power truly demanding his attention? I'll let you judge for yourself. His cell is just here. Good evening.
Shut up. Shut up! Will you never leave me alone?
Yes, this is what we were discussing in the hall. May we come in?
Get down from there, damn you!
If I said you can't come in, would it stop you? A valid point, so onward. My guest here was hoping to hear some of your story, perhaps some bit of detail about what happened that fateful night after the death of your fiancée. What was her name? Lenore?
You keep her name out of your mouth. You don't deserve to be thought of in the same breath as her. The woman was a saint.
Very well, very well. Let her remain nameless for the moment. What, if I may ask, are you writing?
Words. Thoughts. Did you not tell me to write down my feelings that it might exorcise my demons, as you put it?
So I did. Would you care to share your writing with us?
I mean, it's quite rough still. Notes, essentially. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore.
Yes, let me stop you there, if I may. Poetry has its place, dear chap, but in your case, I suspect, it might be more of a distancing mechanism. If you are ever to come to grips with your demons, you need to speak plainly. From the heart.
From the heart. I hear you. Shut up. The heart is the point, you chattering empty suit. Let me ask you, have you ever been in love?
I've been known to break a heart or two, and I'd imagine I've known heartache myself.
If you have to imagine it, then you have not known it. I don't mean some schoolyard crush, some inconsequential coupling that lasts for a year and burns itself out. I mean real love, deep and rare, so rare you would swear it was a gift from the very arms of the angels. That's what Lenore was for me. So radiant, so beautiful, so important. She was all I could ever have dreamt of. In an instant she was gone. Lenore! I can't bring myself to say her name without drowning again in misery.
Yes, well, perhaps you might still indulge our guest here,
They've come such a long way to hear your story, and certainly the circumstances have less to do with love and more to do with the unwelcome visitor you claim plagues you still. So you say. Very well. I remember it as if it were yesterday. It was December, unusually stormy for that time of year, and we had just put my beloved in the earth scant days earlier. Bless her sainted heart. In that whole time, I'd been unable to find any rest, and my so-called friends had all but abandoned me. Finally, I locked myself away in the front parlor of my home in the hope that some of my favorite books might help me find a way to put an end to this sorrow. Well, that's the end of the wood. So much the better anyway. It's midnight. I may as well let the fire burn out on its own. Look at that. The light of the fire throwing shadows on the rug like so many ghosts. It's beautiful, almost. Back to the reading. Thankfully, I have more than enough books to last some time. To get lost in a good story, that's what I need. Something, anything, to take my mind off of her. What was that? What is that? It's just the sound of the wind blowing the curtains. Better make sure the windows are closed, you old fool. You're not heating the whole outdoors. It's not the wind. It's someone at the door. A visitor. Yes, that's it. It's a visitor at the door. Oh, my heart is racing. Get a hold of yourself. It's just some late visitor come to check on me. Knocking gently. That's it. Nothing more. All right, then. Don't be rude. Answer the damn door. Hello? Hello there? Sir, or madam, I suppose. I'm so sorry to have left you out there, but you know it's late, and the fact is I was napping, and you came rapping so gently, so very gently. I wasn't sure if there was someone at the door, or if... Nothing. Nothing but darkness. Is anyone there? Hello? If you're out there, come closer. The night is so dark I can't see. What is it? What's going on? Am I losing my mind? Good Lord, let it be the devil himself to carry me away. That would be a relief. Hello? Nothing. Not a sound. There's no one there unless... No, don't be crazy. And yet... Lenore. Well, that was not fun. Your mind is playing tricks on you, you know. You really have to pull yourself to... What is it? The wind again? I thought I'd closed the window. But it's there, surely, at the window lattice. All right, let's check again and explore this little mystery. As soon as my heart stops racing, that is. It's all right. It's all right. It's as I thought. It's the wind and nothing more. Well, saints be praised if it isn't a bird. Jet black. A raven? Yes, a raven. Well, that's just too perfect. The Greek gods sent ravens as prophecy. I don't need a bird to tell me I've had bad luck. I know I've had bad luck. Look at him, walking in like the king, like he owns the place. And now he's making himself at home over the door on the bust of Pallas on the shelf there. Wonderful. Now I'll have to have the place cleaned. Hey! Hey, bird! I have to admit, he's a funny old thing. Sitting there looking down on me like a judge, so serious. You! You're like some weird little rooster with its crest shaved off. You have nerve, I'll give you that, you grim little bastard. Coming here in the dead of night while my grief is still new. So, Your Majesty, why don't you tell me what your name is?
Nevermore.
How about that? Nevermore, huh? What, is that your name? Huh. I've heard of parrots talking, budgies too, and mynas, crude little prophets of doom. But a raven, and I've never heard any bird speak English so plainly. Huh. Even though what he's saying makes no sense, this is still amazing. I can't imagine anyone has ever seen a bird, or any animal for that matter, sitting on top of a statue and saying its name plain as day. Nevermore. Say, you there! Can you say anything else? Nothing. Not a word. He just sits there. You there! Say something! Perfect. Just perfect. Alone in a room with an unwanted house guest that just sits and stares at me. I don't know why I should be surprised. All my other friends have abandoned me in my time of need. By tomorrow he will leave me, along with what little hope I have left.
Nevermore. Nevermore.
Damn bird, you frightened me. Can't you say anything else? Nevermore. Say something. Well, I suppose he just heard it said quite a lot and picked it up. Yes, without a doubt. This is the only thing he says because he picked it up from some unhappy master. Isn't that it? Of course. It was his owner, plagued by a series of unmerciful disasters, one tragedy after the other, until the bird learned to say the word, if only to share the burden. Am I right?
Answer me!
But instead it became a funeral dirge for his owner's lost hope. It's so sad. Tragic, really. Nevermore. Still, the old thing makes me smile. Not much else to do. Let's wheel this old chair over and get comfortable. I have some questions for this raven. Some might call it a blessing to have something to take your mind off your own misfortune. Some might. I don't. Would you kindly shut up? And yet you were graced with company by some greater hand when arguably you needed it most. Greater hand. Am I to get on my knees and thank the heavens for this ungodly thing? You heretic. I can tell you've never spent time in the presence of a raven. Let me assure you, they are not pleasant companions. They're grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt. They're the perfect omen for the Greek gods precisely because they are so ominous. Anyway, I sat there in front of the bird for some time trying to make sense of it all. How did it get here of all places, and what did it want from me? And what, in the name of all that is good in this world, did the bird truly mean in croaking nevermore? I found myself lost in thought, and all the while the bird said nothing. It just perched there on the statue over the door with its fiery eyes burning into the very core of my bosom. And I sat there too, reclining my head on the cushioned seat back in the lamplight. That chair. We bought that chair together, Lenore and I. Crushed violet velvet. Not my style. But she used to love to rest her head on the seat cushions. She'll never rest her head on that chair again. Nevermore. I sense that we may be straying a bit off topic. Shall we return to the night in question? What? Yes. Well, as I said, I was thinking about that damned bird when, out of nowhere, things in the room, well, they started to change. Wait a moment. What's happening? The air, it's almost like it's thicker somehow. The smell, like incense. But the room is empty. Where can the smell be coming from, if not from heaven? Are there angels here? It can't be, can it? Of course it can, you wretch. It can't be more plain. Your God has sent down angels to give you a message of relief, some respite, some way of forgetting about your loss. Drink it down, you idiot. Drink it down. You can forget your lost Lenore. Nevermore. Nevermore. Prophet, thing of evil, I don't care if you're a bird or a demon, you're still a prophet. Whether the devil himself sent you to me or if the stormy night just dropped you at my door, I don't care. I'm alone in this awful, empty place, in this home haunted by horrors. I'm alone. Alone. Please, you have to tell me truly, is there some way to forget my sorrows? Can I appeal to a higher power? Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. You see, I've been praying. I have. Praying for some relief, something to soothe me, to get my mind off of her, off of this place. What kind of God would allow something like this to happen? Tell me. Tell me, I'm begging you. Nevermore. Nevermore. But you're a prophet. Bird or devil, you evil thing, you're still a prophet. There is a God. Tell me, give me your word. A vow by that heaven that you know bends above us, by that God we both adore. My soul cannot bear this sorrow. I need to know. When I die, will I see her again? In the vast expanse of time beyond this world, will I ever again be able to hold her in my arms again? My sainted, my beloved. The angels named her. They named her Lenore. Nevermore, nevermore. That's the last word I ever want to hear from you. Bird, fiend, whatever you are, out! I want you out! Go on, get back into the night and crawl back to your masters in hell. I don't want a trace of you here, not a single black feather. Leave! Leave my loneliness unbroken, do you hear me? Get off that accursed statue. I can't stand to look at you. Your beak is like a knife in my heart. Get out of here and never darken my doorway again. Get out! Nevermore. Nevermore. That was his reply. That's the only word he ever said and the only thing he says to this day. Because you might not see him, but I do. He's there. He never moves, but he's there. He's still sitting there, sitting above my door. You see him, don't you? Why, of course we see him, my dear fellow. We both do. Why, he's just there, isn't he? Don't patronize me, you worm. I know you. Oh, yes, you can't see him because you believe in nothing. Only the devout can see through the mundane and into the eternal, but I do. I see him. He's there, right there. I can see his eyes piercing my soul like some kind of demon in a dream, but the demon is the dream. His eyes. You can see him. I know you can. I feel it in you. He's there, under the lamp that's above the door. Look, the lamplight is just streaming over him. Look at his shadow. You can see his shadow floating on the floor. Yes, shadows floating on the floor. Demon eyes, the demon is the dream. It all hangs together quite logically. Get out! You're no better than that bird. I know you. Your cruel, beady eyes, your icy stare. Satan's spawn. You bring evil wherever you go. Anyone with untainted eyes in his head should see that shadow lying floating on the floor. My soul, it'll never be lifted from this hell on earth. Nevermore, nevermore, my soul. Lord, help my poor soul. There's nothing more to be gained from this. I suggest we make our way down the hall. Nevermore. Shut up! I hear you, bird! Fiend! Damn you! Shut up! Nevermore.
Nevermore.
We cannot fault the man his faith, that much is certain. A truer believer is likely not to be found anywhere else in the world. A shame that his dedication to higher powers should be derailed in such a dramatic way. The loss of his beloved perverted his pursuit of truth beyond the corporeal into a hair shirt he will wear forever. Well, not forever, of course. My system should provide him the relief for which he so desperately yearns, and he will in time be able to embrace the lightness that he has been seeking for so long. I'll be sure to invite you back as we make progress in his case. In the meantime, please follow me. Our next fascinating subject is just down this hall. You've been listening to the National Edgar Allan Poe Theatre on the Air and our production of The Raven, adapted for radio by Alex Zabistovich. The Raven was directed by Jennifer Restak, produced by Ty Ford, and performed by Alex Zabistovich. Poe Theatre on the Air theme by Greg Martin. The National Edgar Allan Poe Theatre on the Air is sponsored in part by Baltimore's own Raven Beer, purveyors of Poe-inspired craft beer. More information can be found on the web at ravenbeer.com. More information on the National Edgar Allan Poe Theatre on the Air can be found at poetheatre.org. Until next time, this is Alex Zabistovich reminding you that all that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream.
Hey, this is Robbie B, and I am back for the Halloween show here on WMAD, so sit back, enjoy the thrills and the chills of the tunage, and let's get started.
and say, alright, love is kinda crazy with a spooky little girl like you. You always keep me guessing, I never seem to know what you are thinking. And if some fella looks at you, it's for sure your little eye will be a winking. I get confused cause I don't know where I stand. And then you smile and hold my hand. Love is kinda crazy with a spooky little girl like you. I'm gonna tell you all that my heart's been a dying to be saying. Just like a ghost, you've been a haunt my dreams, so I'll propose on Halloween. Baby, love is kinda crazy with a spooky little girl like you. Oh, spooky, yeah.
Well, if you ever go back in the woody swamp, well, you better not go at night. There's things out there in the middle of them woods that make a strong man die for pride. Things are crawling, things are flying, things creep around on the ground. And they say the ghost of Lucius Clay gets up and he walks around, but I couldn't believe it. I just had to find out for myself, and I couldn't conceive it, cause I never would listen to nobody else, and I couldn't believe it. I just had just can't explain. The old man lived in the woolly swamp way back in Booger Woods. He never did do a lot of harm in the world, but he never did do no good. People didn't think too much of him, they all thought he acted funny. The old man didn't care about people anyway, all he cared about was his money. He'd stuff it all down into mason jars and he'd bury it all around. And on certain nights, if the moon was right, he'd dig it up out of the ground. He'd pour it all out on the floor of his shack and run his fingers through it. Yeah, Lucius Clay was a greedy old man, and that's all that there was to it. But I couldn't believe it. I just had to find out for myself, and I couldn't conceive it. Cause I never would listen to nobody else, and I couldn't believe it. I just had to find out for myself. And there's some things in this world you just can't explain. The Kegel boys was white trash who lived over on Carver's Creek. They were mean as a snake and sneaky as a cat and belligerent when they'd speak. One night the oldest brother said, y'all meet me in the woolly swamp later, and we'll take old Lucius's money and we'll feed him to the alligators. They found the old man out in the back with a shovel in his hand, 13 rusty mason jars he just dug up out of the sand. And they all went crazy and they beat the old man and they picked him up off of the ground and threw him in the swamp and stood there and laughed as the black water sucked him down. Then they turned around and went back to the shack and picked up the money and ran. They hadn't gone nowhere when they realized they were running in quicksand. And they struggled and they screamed, but they couldn't get away. And just before they went under, they could hear that old man laughing in a voice as loud as thunder. That's been 50 years ago, and you can go by there yet. There's a spot in the yard in the back of that shack where the ground is always wet. And on certain nights, if the moon is right, down by that dark footpath, you can hear 3 young men screaming. You can hear one old man laugh. If you ever go back in the woolly swamp where you better not go at night, there's things out there in the middle of the woods that make a strong man die with pride. Things that crawl and things that fly, things that creep around on the ground. And they say the ghost of Lucius Clay gets up and he walks around, but I couldn't believe it. I just had to find out for myself, and I couldn't conceive it. Cause I never would listen to nobody else, and I couldn't believe it. I just had to find out for myself. And there's some things in this world you just can't explain. Some things in this world you just can't explain.
Yes, yes, woolly swamps. Never go there at night. This is Robbie B on WMAD Radio Halloween Special.
Don't go around
this is Robbie B in the WMAD studios. I hope you're having a scary good time as much as we are. Up next is one of my favorite songs.
Oh, listen to my story. Life is getting stranger, baby, as I travel along. People don't know the difference no more between right and wrong. I say it's gonna be a cold dark night when the creeper come along. Watch out for steel blade, baby, horn shining long. I say it's gonna be a cold dark night. Lord, when the creeper come along, yeah. He's tall, he's short, he's fat, he's thin. He's out for vengeance, he's out to win. The road he walks is dark and dim. Don't let him catch you out on a limb. He'll cut your throat, baby, stick you in the back. Drive off with your Cadillac. He's more trouble now than you think. He'll kill your sugar, leave you in the drink. Say it's gonna be a cold dark night. Lord, when the creeper come along, yeah. Oh, he'll get you, baby. The enemy of society hurts the people every day. The law's out to catch him, baby, but there just ain't no way. I say it's gonna be a cold dark night when the creeper come along. Watch out for a steel blade, baby, horn shining long. I say it's gonna be a cold dark night. Lord, when the creeper come along, yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a cold dark night. Lord, when the creeper come along, oh, yeah.
I don't know about you boys and girls, but that was pretty creepy. Hey, this is Robbie B on WMAD Radio and the Halloween special. Up next is Leonard Skinner. Ooh, that smell.
Whiskey bottles and brand new cars. Oak tree, you're in my way. There's too much coke and too much smoke. Look what's going on inside you. Ooh, that smell. Can't you smell that smell? Ooh, that smell. The smell of death's around you. need on your arm. So take another toke, have a blow for your nose. One more drink, fool, would drown you. Ooh, that smell. Can't you smell that smell? Ooh, that smell. The smell of death around you. Now they call you Prince Charming. Can't speak a word when you're full of blues. Say you'll be alright come tomorrow, but tomorrow might not be here for you. Ooh, that smell. Can't you smell that smell? Ooh, that smell. The smell of death around you. Oh, you're fool, you. Down, stick them needles in your arm. I've been there before. One little problem that confronts you. Got a monkey on your back. Just one more fix, Lord, might do the trick. One hell of a price for you to get your kicks. Ooh, that smell. Can't you smell that smell? Ooh, that smell. The smell of death surrounds you. Ooh, that smell. Can't you smell that smell? Ooh, that smell. The smell of death surrounds you. Oh, you're a fool, you. Don't stick those needles in your arm. Yeah, just a fool, just a fool, just a fool. Give me one more blow for my
Hey, this is Robbie B. I thank you for spending your Tuesday night here at WMAD Radio. Up next is Saxon Max with his jazz show. I will see you next week. Everybody have a happy Halloween.
Riders on the storm. Riders on the storm. Into this house we're born. Into this world we're thrown. Like a dog without a bone, an actor out alone. Riders on the storm. There's a killer on the road. His brain is squirming like a toad. Take a long holiday. Let your children play. If you give this man a ride, sweet family will die. Killer on the road. Yeah. Girl, you gotta love your man. Girl, you gotta love your man. Take him by the hand. Make him understand. The world on you depends. Our life will never end. Gotta love your man. Riders on the storm. Riders on the storm. Into this house we're born. Into this world we're thrown. Like a dog without a bone, an actor out alone. Riders on the storm. Riders on the storm. Riders on the storm.
a ghost of you within my haunted heart. Ghost of you, my lost romance. Lips that laugh, eyes that dance. Haunted heart won't let me be. Dreams repeat a sweet but lonely song to me. Dreams are dust, it's you who must belong to me. And thrill my haunted heart. Be still, my haunted heart. In the night, though we're apart, there's a ghost of you within my haunted heart. Ghost of you, my lost romance, and thrill my haunted heart. Be still, my haunted heart. Dreams are dust, it's you who must belong to me. And thrill my haunted heart. Be still, my haunted heart.
An old cowpoke went riding out one dark and windy day. Upon a ridge he rested as he went along his way. When all at once a mighty herd of red-eyed cows he saw, a-plowing through the ragged sky, still on fire, and their hooves were made of steel. Their horns were black and shiny, and their hot breath he could feel. A bolt of fear went through him as they thundered through the sky, for he saw the riders coming hard, and he heard their mournful cry. Ghost riders in the sky. Their faces gaunt, their eyes were blurred, and shirts all soaked with sweat. They're riding hard to catch that herd, but they ain't caught 'em yet. 'Cause they got to ride forever on that range up in the sky, on horses snorting flaming fire. As they ride on, hear them cry. The riders loped on by a man, he heard one call his name. If you want to save your soul from hell or riding on our range, then cowboy, change your ways today, or with us you will ride, trying to catch the devil's herd across these endless skies. Yippee-yi-oh, yippee-yi-yay, the ghost riders in the sky.
Just gather round and I'll elucidate on what goes on outside when it gets late. Long about midnight, the ghosts and banshees, they get together for their nightly jamborees. There's things with horns and saucer eyes, some with fangs about this size.
Some are fat and some are thin.
And some don't even wear their skin.
Oh, I'm telling you, brother, it's a frightful sight to see what goes on Halloween night. When spooks have a midnight jamboree, they break it up with fiendish glee. Ghosts are bad, but the one that's cursed is the headless horseman. He's the worst.
That's right, he's a fight on Halloween night.
But when he goes jogging across the land, holding his noggin in his hand, demons take one look and groan and hit the road for parts unknown.
Beware, take care, he rides alone.
And there's no spook like Spooked Spur.
They don't like him and he's really burned.
He swears to the longest day he's dead,
he'll show them that he can get ahead.
They say he's tired of his flaming top. He's got a yen to make a swap. So he rides one night each year to find a head in the hollow here.
Now he likes them little, he likes them big,
or in the middle or awake,
black or white or even red.
The headless horseman needs a head with a hip, hip, and a clippity-clop. He's out looking for a choppy chop, so don't stop to figure out a plan. You can't reason with a headless man. Now if you doubt this tale is so, I met that spook just a year ago. Now I didn't stop for a second look, but made for the bridge that spans the brook. But once you cross that bridge, my friend,
the monster's through his power ends.
So when you're riding home tonight, make for the bridge with all your might. He'll be down in the hollow there. He needs your head. Look out, beware.
With a hip, hip, and a clippity-clop,
He's down looking for a head to swap. So don't try to figure out a plan. You can't reason with a headless man.
They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. They're all together ooky, the Addams Family. Their house is a museum. When people come to see them, they really are a spree 'em, the Addams Family.
Neat. Sweet. Petite.
So get a witch's shawl on, a broomstick you can crawl on. We're gonna pay a call on the Addams Family.
Yoinks!
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We got some work to do now. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We need some help from you now. Come on, Scooby-Doo, I see you, pretending you got a sliver. You're not fooling me, 'cause I can see the way you shake and shiver. You know we got a mystery to solve, so Scooby-Doo, be ready for your act. Don't hold back. And Scooby-Doo, if you come through, you're gonna have yourself a Scooby snack. That's a fact. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, here are you. You're ready and you're willing. If we can count on you, Scooby-Doo, I know we'll catch that villain.
This is WMAD, YouTube Radio.
I've got a friend who's big and round and oh so jolly, gee whiz. Lend me your ear and you will hear just who this fellow is. He's Punky Punkin, the happy pumpkin, happy all the day. And his great big smile will chase your cares away.
Chase them away, away.
Punky Punkin, the happy pumpkin, never wears a frown. You can see that he's cut out to be a clown.
Oh, what a clown is he.
The candlelight inside him makes his eyes light up and gleam. They shine right through the window at you for a happy Halloween. Punky Punkin's a happy pumpkin, and do you know why? 'Cause he's a jack-o'-lantern instead of being a pumpkin pie.
Inside him makes his eyes light up and gleam. They shine right through the window at you for a happy Halloween. Punky Punkin's a happy pumpkin, and do you know why? 'Cause he's a jack-o'-lantern instead of being a pumpkin pie.
Punky Punkin, the happy pumpkin, happy all the day. And his great big smile will chase your cares away.
Chase them away, away.
Punky Punkin, the happy pumpkin, never wears a frown. You can see that he's cut out to be a clown.
Oh, what a clown is he.
The candlelight inside him makes his eyes light up and gleam. They shine right through the window at you for a happy Halloween. Punky Punkin's a happy pumpkin, and do you know why? 'Cause he's a jack-o'-lantern instead of being a pumpkin pie. Yes, he's a jack-o'-lantern instead of being a pumpkin pie.
to give you a chill. 'Cause at night when it's still, they say the walls keep talking, spooks keep walking, so the folks in the town pass the legend around. Someone lives underground. That's why the walls keep talking, alright. You hear a scream out of the night.
Somebody turn on the lights.
You wake from your dream.
Let me get out of here.
So filled with pride.
Why I didn't do nothing?
When you walk down that lane, you can hear it so plain. It'll drive you insane because the walls keep talking, but no one's walking around.
Ever get the feeling you're not alone in the room? You're not.
The other night, about 12 o'clock, I thought I'd go downstairs just to check the lock. When I heard something in the house, I don't mean a mouse. I swear they was spooks, spooks, spooks. I know they was spooks, 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 spooks. I couldn't move, just stood and stared. I never was so scared. The first spook spoke and I heard him speak. He said, "What say, go make the back door squeak. We'll tease the cat and hound the pup and raise our spirits up." Oh, Lord of them spooks, 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 those scary old spooks, 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 spooks. You don't have to take my word, but I heard what I heard.
The next spook spoke, he said, "Suppose we make the faucet start to drip and make the shutters shake. You let me know just what you want.
This is my favorite haunt.
Beware of them spooks, 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 them mischievous spooks, 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 spooks. I ain't spoofing, man, I mean that I've seen what I see."
A big spook spoke, he said, "Spike, my son," he said, "I'll show you how to scare up some fun. But next time when you wail, see here, you make it loud and clear. Watch out for them spooks, 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 oh, those nasty old spooks, 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 spooks. Maybe you don't think it's so, but I know what I know." The last spook turned to his spouse and frowned, said, "I thought I told you to wait in the ground, but you look awful cute tonight. In fact, you look afraid."
He's talking about spooks, 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 real genuine spooks, 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 spooks.
No, you stop putting up your dukes. You just can't fight them spooks. I'm cutting out of here, man. I don't dig this job. No.
Wait for us, wait for us, wait for us, wait for us.
La-doodle-lie, doodle-lie.
There's a yodel in the air, yet there ain't nobody there. It must be a ghost, a yodeling ghost.
La-da-doodle-la-day, doodle-la-day.
It's a sentimental call, yet there's no one there at all. It must be a ghost, the yodeling ghost. It all began when a Swiss was shown the door by a miss. He told her he would haunt her.
He disappeared in the snows, and every villager knows. He yodels and yodels and yodels and yodels to taunt her. La-doodle-lie, doodle-la-day.
Hear it echo in the night, though there ain't a soul in sight. It's only that most harmonious ghost.
La-doodle-lie, doodle-lie. There's a yodel in the air, yet there ain't nobody there. It must be a ghost, a yodeling ghost.
La-doodle-lie, doodle-lie. It's a sentimental call, yet there's no one there at all. It must be the ghost, the yodeling ghost.
It all began when a Swiss was shown the door by a miss. He told her he would haunt her.
He disappeared in the snows, and every villager knows. He yodels and yodels and yodels and yodels to taunt her.
La-la-doodle-la-day, doodle-la-day.
There's a yodel in the air, yet there ain't nobody there. It must be a ghost, a yodeling ghost, a yodeling ghost. La-doodle-lie, a yodeling ghost.
Trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat for Halloween. Better give a treat that's good to eat if you want to keep life serene. Trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat the whole night through. Little scalawags with fiendish gags can make it tough on you. So when ghosts and goblins by the score ring the bell on your front door, better not be stingy or your nightmares will come true. Trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat for Halloween. When the pumpkin shells cast evil spells, your little white house turns green. Your little white house turns green. Your little white house turns green. Every post is a ghost if you got a witch's brew. And if you want your gate to circulate, oh, we can do that too. Trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat, trick or treat for Halloween. When ghosts and goblins by the score ring the bell on your front door, you better not be stingy or your nightmares will come true. So when ghosts and goblins by the score ring your bell or pound your door, better not be stingy or your nightmares will come true. Woo.
never played his role, 'cause I'm the one who saves my soul. It's a perfect world we're longing for so long.
I myself am strange and unusual.
your sorrow, now you're paying for it. Think twice. Being evil has a price. I hear a lot of little secrets. Tell me yours, and I'll keep it. You wanna know my name by now? Better think twice. 'Cause being evil has a price. Is this real life? Turn out a candle, turn out the light. The cars and models make you feel like you're better than it. Think twice. Being evil has a price. I hear a lot of little secrets. Tell me yours, and I'll keep it. You wanna know my name by now? Better think twice. Being evil has a price. I got a nasty reputation, not a bit of hesitation. You better think twice. 'Cause being evil has a price. Being evil has a price. I hear a lot of little secrets. Tell me yours, and I'll keep it. You wanna know my name by now? Better think twice. Being evil has a price. I got a nasty reputation, not a bit of hesitation. You better think twice. 'Cause being evil has a price. Cause being evil has a price. I've seen the way through all the pain. I've walked through darkness, fire, and rain. They fill my grave, but still my soul remains. Those brimstone fires burn in my feet, while angel choirs sing out of reach. Now still I wait to hear my name called here between heaven and hell. Here between heaven and hell.
God, who are you? I know you.
I have crossed oceans of time to find you.
we sleep. He will find you acting on your best behavior. Turn your back on Mother Nature. Everybody wants to rule the world. It's my own desire. It's my own remorse. Help me to decide. Help me make the most of freedom and of pleasure. Nothing ever lasts forever. Everybody wants to rule the world. There's a room where the light won't find you. Holding hands while the walls come tumbling down. When they do, I'll be right behind you. So glad we've almost made it. So sad we had to fade it. Everybody wants to rule the world. Everybody wants to rule the world. Everybody wants to rule the world.
The spider spinning his web for the unwary fly. The blood is the life, Mr. Renfield.
I see your red door. I want it painted black. No colors anymore. I want them to turn black. I see the girls walk by dressed in their summer clothes. I have to turn my head until my darkness goes. I see a line of colors and they're all painted black, with flowers and my love both never to come back. I see people turn their heads and quickly look away, like a newborn baby. It just happens every day. I look inside myself and see my heart is black. I see my red door. I must have it painted black. Maybe when I'll fade away and not have to face the facts. It's not easy facing up when your whole world is black. No more will my green seagull turn a deeper blue. I could not foresee this thing happening to you. If I look hard enough into the setting sun, my love will laugh with me before the morning comes. I wanna see it
If all the corpses buried around here was to stand up all at once, we'd have one hell of a population problem.
My own brother, a goddamn shit-sucking vampire. Oh, you wait till Mom finds out, buddy.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces, bright and early for their daily races, going nowhere, going nowhere. Their tears are filling up their glasses, no expression, no expression. Hide my head, I wanna drown my sorrow. No tomorrow, no tomorrow. And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world. Mad world. Children waiting for the day they feel good. Happy birthday, happy birthday. And to feel the way that every child should sit and listen, sit and listen. Went to school and I was very nervous. No one knew me, no one knew me. Hello teacher, tell me what's my lesson. Look right through me, look right through me. And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world. Mad world. Enlarging your world. Mad world.
Holy shit! The attack of Eddie Munster!
We walk the narrow path beneath the smoking skies. Sometimes barely tell the difference between darkness and light. Do we have faith? In what we believe. The truest test is when we cannot see. I hear pounding feet in the streets below, and the women crying, and the children moaning. There's something wrong. It's hard to believe that love will prevail. Oh, it won't rain all the time. The sky won't fall forever. And though the night seems long, your tears won't
girl breaks in and a woman falls in. There's something wrong. It's hard to believe that love will prevail. It won't rain all the time. The sky won't fall forever. And though the night seems long, your tears won't fall. Your tears won't fall. Your tears won't fall forever. Last night I had a dream. You came into my room. You took me into your arms, whispering and kissing me and telling me to still believe. Within the emptiness of the burning seas against which we sit our darkest descent, until I felt safe and warm. I fell asleep in your arms. When I awoke, I cried again, for you were gone. Oh, can you hear me? It won't rain all the time. The sky won't fall forever. And though the night seems long, your tears won't fall forever. It won't rain all the time. The sky won't fall forever. And though the night seems long, your tears won't fall. Your tears won't fall. Your tears won't fall forever.
Death by sting.